A hearty welcome to all our Erongo Talk viewers. My name is Adolf Kaure and I'll be your presenter for today. So today we come to you all the way from Beantree Café in Ocean View in Swakopmund, and we have a lovely program lined up for today. So we also have an interview that is with multi-award winning karateka Suzelle Pronk, who has launched her latest initiative known as the High Performance Karate Namibia. I'll also be bringing you the news as well as the tides and weather. And don't forget that today is World Snake Day for all our snake lovers out there. So don't move an inch. We'll be back right after this. It is now time for today's news, and we have a lovely front page here for today for the Namibian Sun, which includes a lot of interesting stories. And one of the stories is written by Elaine Smith and concerns the local tourism plan for President Hage Geingob. So the Namibian Sun writes that President Hage Geingob's grand plan to revive the local tourism sector between 15 July and 15 August by allowing foreigners from a low-risk country to enter Namibia has been taken off the table. So the tourism minister, that is Pohamba Shifeta, confirmed this as Namibia's COVID-19 cases increased to 960 yesterday morning. So Shifeta said any plan to open the country's borders was highly unlikely. And he also said that the situation has changed drastically since the President Hage Geingob announced in June that the country's borders would reopen to tourists from a low-risk source as part of the tourism revival project. So Shifeta said that the Namibian tourism industry expected no tourist arrival over the next 3 months, and that the situation would likely persist for the rest of the year. So interesting story right there in today's Namibian Sun. And in another story in today's Namibian Sun, we have kids await 24 days for the corona results. A lovely story written by my colleague Ohone Klale, who says that the health authorities yesterday conceded that they are overwhelmed with a growing backlog of pending coronavirus test results, with children of an infected mother still waiting for their outcome of tests taken back on the 23rd of June. So a COVID-19 positive Walvis Bay mother has been in isolation for a month, and she says she's still waiting for the results of a second batch of tests which have been done for her child on the 23rd of June. So read that and more stories. That is in today's Namibian Sun. And you can also read more stories from our other sister newspapers, which includes the Allgemeine Zeitung as well as Die Republikein. And going to now the Erongo newspapers stories, we have a story written here which concerns poachers in the park. So the police in the Erongo region are looking for several poachers who are said to have killed 7 oryx in the Namib Nokluft Park and were seen while transporting the animals. That is according to the Erongo police spokesman, Erastus Ikuyu. So these oryx were estimated to have a worth of over 18,000 Namibian dollars, and the two suspects, or the two vehicles in which these oryx were transported, were found in the park by MET, the Ministry of Environment and Tourist, found these people in the park, and that's how they seized the carcasses of these animals. So in another story, we also have a travel ban which irks. So the farmers are permitted to leave coastal towns while anglers may not. So despite the strict travel ban, the health minister, Dr. Kalumbi Shangula, said more than a week ago the police are concerned that residents of Arandas, Swakopmund and Walvis Bay are not complying to lockdown rules. So he was quoted, or let me say, the Captain Apollos Haimbala, the commander of the Marine Corps, on Friday said that there are many people who are constantly moving out of their various towns, and this remains a concern. And according to Haimbala, residents of the coast use detours to avoid roadblocks to move the travel ban, so that they can avoid this travel ban. And this can destroy residents' efforts to curb the spread of COVID-19. And he has said that we have to fight the virus together. You can find these two stories on our website, that is www.erongo.com. And that concludes today's news. We'll be back right after this.
Welkom terug bij DT Motors. Hier is die motor gesleten. Als alles goed verloopt, zien ons jou voor 10.000 kilo's.
I currently launched what we are calling High Performance Sports Karate Namibia. The initiative sort of is something that I've been thinking about over the last, I would say, year, maybe even a bit longer, but just wasn't 100% sure how to approach it, how to launch it. And it's going to sound funny, but actually during this lockdown period, I had a bit of time to think about it and came up with the initiative and how to approach it. And it's basically just a supplementary entity to help athletes in Namibia who want to get more exposure on the international level. And when I say more exposure, I mean beyond the exposure they're already getting with, say, the Namibian national team, and also help them train with international athletes, international coaches. And like we all know, it is important to have your training with your coach, which they'll still be doing through the week. So, for example, if you are a Shotokan athlete, or if you are a Gojukai athlete or Goju-Ryu athlete, you will still be training with your sensei and your club as usual. But this is just that extra bit that we'll be giving to the athletes. We'll also be coming together, but also be doing a lot of online training with international coaches and athletes, which is something that came alight now during the COVID time. So in the long term, we're obviously looking to do interaction between international coaches and athletes. So saying bringing someone in. So at the moment, High Performance Sports Karate is also associated with MMKI, which is Morgan Moss Karate International. Since Morgan is based in South Africa, his credentials, he's a African champion, WKF Grand Champion, Commonwealth champion, so the list goes on there. So he's a great person to initially be working with the athletes. So in the long term, we're obviously looking to make contact with them. And also, I think just to start getting more Namibian karate athletes on the map, in the sense of getting rankings on the WKF ranking system. And I think this is just something that would aid those athletes, because it's not always easy, you know, like going through the right streams and being able to travel with the team and having the right support, especially coming from a country as Namibia, where, you know, the financial support isn't always there. So we're also looking to, you know, do fundraising for these fundraisers for these athletes. So if we know that we're traveling to an international tournament in 6 months' time, we know that we want these amounts of athletes to go, then we can try and do fundraisers through High Performance Sports Karate to ensure that it makes it possible for these athletes to go. Of course, I can't speak on behalf of the Namibian national team coach or the program itself, but I do believe that this initiative will also help those athletes, or even help more athletes get in the program. Because, I mean, we all know the higher the level in the country, the better for all the athletes in the country. So that's obviously one of our goals, is to just as much exposure on tournament level coaches with other athletes, but also long term we are looking at hopefully one day sort of having a base where we can then bring other coaches in. So having a high performance center almost, if we want to call it that, where we have nutritional coaches, athletes can come for say a weekend, have conditioning needs seen to. So yeah, I think those are the long-term goals for now, but the initial thing is just to have athletes get as much exposure as possible. So I did travel, especially the last 2 years. I've been pushing quite hard to travel as much as I can and compete at what we're calling the Premier League. So to be able to compete in the Premier League, you have to be ranked in the top 100 within your division in the world. So I did make a big push in the last 2 years to try and get to as many events as possible. Obviously, it's not always easy to get to all of them. But during this time, I think I also just identified what do I need a little bit more of? What do I think can help other athletes? Because I do believe that if you're just going to go travel and keep everything to yourself and not give back to other athletes, then it sort of defeats the purpose, you know, especially I'm obviously at some point won't be competing anymore at the level that I'm competing right now. So I think what helped me sort of come up with this initiative is what can I do to aid the younger athletes coming up to make it almost, let's call it easier, to go and compete at these types of tournaments. I was the first Namibian karate athlete to compete at a Premier League, which I previously also now explained. You have to be in the top 100 to compete there, also in a Series A. So that was, for me personally, it was a big goal and quite a big honor to be able to do that, because once you're competing there, you're competing against the best in the world. Some of the athletes are 100% professional, that's their lives, that's what they do. So that was a big eye-opener and also a big achievement for me personally. Then I recently also got a silver medal at the African Beach Games, which was in Cape Verde and Sal. For me personally, that was one of the funnest tours also I've been on. It was a really great one. Been a part of the All-African karate team that went to Morocco, where I ended up with the 7th place. And then Region 5, the last 2 years, silver medal champion at the last one, which was actually hosted in Namibia at the Dome. So yeah, that I think would be the big ones at the moment. Also in 2018, bronze medal at the Commonwealth Championship, which was hosted in South Africa. So those would be the big ones for me that I think once I talk it, that comes up in my head at the moment, yes. I am a third dan black belt with Sky, which is Shotokan Karate Academy International. And I've been training with Sensei Waldemar Swart since the age of 5. So it's been long. If I say how long though, you'll know my actual age. It is something that obviously I'm working towards. It's very tough getting in, but I believe if you believe you can be there, then that's something that is achievable. We were supposed to have the Olympic qualifiers in May in Paris this year, but obviously due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been shifted, I believe, to June next year. So yes, on one side, it's a little bit of a knock you take, but on the other side, I see it as more time to prepare, more time to get ready for that. So yes, it's 100% my number one goal at the moment is to push for that, to be able to qualify. Okay, so training obviously changed a little bit. During the first part of the lockdown, we were not allowed to have contact, especially because karate, obviously, as we know, is a contact sport. But what was really nice is that something that has become quite a bit bigger now is the online platform, which we've been using. So we've been able to make contact with a lot of international trainers, athletes, and because it's a world pandemic, these athletes and trainers have all been putting in the time, they're putting in, a lot of people are hosting online sessions. So yes, there's a negative to it. Obviously, I personally still feel like it's not the same as having a sparring partner and being able to do the sparring with your partner, with your coach there. But what's also great is that we don't have to give out a lot of money to reach some of these guys now. And that's, I think, going into the future is something that one can really actually look forward to be able to easily reach or easier reach a international coach or athlete that you maybe want to work with in preparation. So yes, the training has gone a little bit more online. But during it all, as soon as we could get back to the dojo, we've been training, we've been pushing, we've been doing a little bit more video. So sort of filming something, sending it to senseis, sending it to the coaches. I know I did a couple of videos that I sent to Sensei Valdemar. He would be able to then analyze it. So it's changed. It's a bit different, but it's also good to sort of take a step back and look at the small things that maybe needs a little bit more attention that you don't always get to in competition season, obviously. And then conditioning training, I currently am training with the Training Shack, which is Ilian Wiggett. So she's been doing some great online, she's been sending the online things through still. And obviously now with stage 3 in Erongo, we have been back with her where I can train now as well. Just in the times we are, I think it's good to stay positive. Look at not only the negative things, there's obviously a lot of negative things going on at the moment, but pick the one good positive thing. This for me has been something really great, which I was able to start in this time. So I think just important to sort of maybe look at something that's a little bit more positive, focus on that, and just keep working towards that. So I think that's just something small from my side. I know it's always a little bit easier said than done sometimes, but it's important to have those small little positive things to keep pushing you, have your goals, and just keep working at it.
Welcome back, and it is now time for the weather and tides. Starting off with the tides, as we had a low tide at 6:20 this morning, we will have a high tide at about 10:01 this afternoon. We'll have another low tide that is at 6:30 this afternoon as well, and the last high tide for the day coming at about 7 minutes to 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. So in Walvis Bay, the sunrise was this morning at about 20 minutes to 8, with the sunset expected to be at about 25 minutes to 7 in the afternoon. The wind direction was a northerly wind flow, with the temperature for today being a very warm 29 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow we expect a minimum temperature of 18 degrees Celsius with a maximum of 28 at the harbour town. In Swakopmund, we had a sunrise also very similar to Walvis of 20 minutes to 8, with the sunset also expected at 25 minutes to 7 in the afternoon. The wind slightly different, northwesterly wind flow, with the maximum temperature for today being at 25 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, the minimum will be 18 degrees, with a maximum of about 25 degrees Celsius, which is forecasted for Swakopmund. Henties Bay, similar sunset as well as sunrise of the sun coming out at about 20 minutes to 8, and a sunset as well of expected to be at 25 minutes to 7 this afternoon. The wind direction is exactly the same as Swakopmund, which is a northwesterly wind flow, with the maximum temperature for today being 26 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow in Henties Bay, the minimum will be 18 degrees, with the maximum being 27 degrees Celsius. Arandas had a slightly easterly flow, with the wind blowing from the northeast, and their sunset was also at 20 minutes to 8 this morning, with their sunrise, your sunrise was at 20 minutes to 8, with the sunset expected to be around 25 minutes to 7 this afternoon. The maximum temperature for today, very warm, easterly, east wind conditions, with their maximum being 32 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, slightly cooler maximum of 31 degrees with a minimum of 14 degrees Celsius. Usakos expects a maximum temperature today of 28 degrees Celsius with the sun rising. The sun rose today at about 20 minutes to 8, and it will set at about 6:30 this afternoon. So that is also the similar sunsets and sunrises that is expected for Karibib as well as Maruru, and all three these towns will expect a northeasterly wind flow as well. So the maximum temperature for Usakos was 28 degrees Celsius today. They will expect a very cool 7 degrees as their minimum and a maximum of about 27 degrees Celsius. Karibib will expect today a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius with a very cool 6 degrees minimum and a maximum of 25 degrees Celsius tomorrow. And Omaruru will expect today a maximum of 25 and a very, very chilly minimum of 1 degree Celsius tomorrow and a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius. So that was our tides and weather. We'll be back right after this. It has been a pleasure having you in my company, but unfortunately that is the end of today's episode of Erongo Talk. But do not despair, you can still catch us on our website, that is www.erongo.com.na, where you can find all our stories as well. Our WhatsApp number is 0811 7040, so do drop your news hints as well as your videos to that number. We have over 50,000 followers that is on our Facebook page. So for all corporates out there, that is a great opportunity to make it in life by advertising with us. So tomorrow's show will include Irene Marie van der Walt, who will be presenting tomorrow. So I'll catch you then. Stay safe, wash your hands, sanitize, use your face masks, and use your common sense as well so that we can fight this COVID-19 pandemic together. It was a pleasure. Peace. Toodles. See you tomorrow.